Well, when I got my first saxophone, there was a joy that, I can't even describe because it was something I saved up for, along with the band that I was in, which was called the Regents. And I worked in a butcher shop. And I got $27 a week from that butcher shop. And believe me, I wouldn't buy lunch. Well, the saxophone is just like you having a relationship. Some days, it feels like you have command of the instrument. Then some days, you don't. But you always know that there's work to do. That's why I continue to do it. Because you've heard that term, at the end of the rainbow, you'll find your pot of gold. Well, guess what? I am still determined to find that pot of gold. That's the way I feel about it. In the days that I have joyful days, I feel like I could do anything. But when there are days that I don't have those, so it's just like the weather. It's hard to say. Every day is different. But I always keep coming back because I know there's more that can be done. I was led to believe that I was good when I was here in Seattle. And we wanted to find out how good we were. And we said, well, if we're so good, I wonder how we'd pair up if we went to New York.
Test it out.
And that's what we did. So McCoy Tyner came. This was around 1968 or 69. McCoy came. He had Sonny Fortune with him. Joe Brazil had a Volkswagen bus. And no one really knew, or there were few people that knew how to drive a stick, but I did. So Joe would send me out to pick up the musicians. So I went out and I got Sonny and McCoy and all of them, and I loaded them up in Joe's bus. And I took them to Joe's house. And then they played at the University of Washington. And the show was phenomenal. They were so good. So afterwards, there was a jam session that Sonny Fortune was invited to. And so Booker and I just happened to overhear it, and we went. And we played. Sonny played and we played. After Sonny played and after he heard us play, and we played all night. And granted, Sonny never said anything. At the end of the night, Sonny turned and looked at him and I and said, "You two cats need to go to New York."
Wow.
And that did it.
That's it.
That was it.
Yeah.
When we heard
Graduated.
that, we said, okay,
You graduated.
it's on.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what happened. When I talk to kids that are at Garfield and at some of the schools, especially trumpet players, I say, who do you listen to? They'll say Miles Davis first. Then they'll say Wynton Marsalis. Then they'll say Dizzy Gillespie. I said, no, you got that totally wrong.
Out of order.
It's out of order. It should be Diz first, because Diz and Charlie Parker brought in the new concept. But for some reason, they give credit to Miles. No, Miles didn't do that. Miles was inspired to do more from that. That's the difference. But, no. Dizzy and Charlie Parker and a few other good men changed the whole concept of the way jazz went through that. And I learned that, like I said before, from Sarah Vaughan. There is just an enormous amount of people that came out of the city. One of the great jazz guitar players who came out of this city was Larry Coryell. He was either from Wenatchee or Yakima.
Wow.
Nobody knows that. You look him up, Larry Coryell, you'll find out he played in either the Dynamics or the Viceroys.
Wow.
On Bolo Records.
Wow. Okay.
You can find him. But I'm just saying, before Larry died, and when I'd see Larry in New York, we talk about all this. See? And the other thing that people don't realize is Rufus Reed from Chicago was here in Seattle with Joe Brazil in the 60s.
Wow.
So, we've got great people like that, him and Carlos Ward. Mm-hmm. Carlos Ward was from Panama. Great saxophonist. You can look him up. He went to school here, played music here, and left here. Pony Poindexter, the master saxophonist, who people don't know about. His son and I, Billy, went to school together. Classmates. But Pony, you can find him on records with Wes Montgomery and different folks. So these names people don't know anything about, but they were here. people that I had in high school, and I mentored, and I got them hooked to carrying their craft further. And they listened. I had Carter, who I mentored first, and Carter's father and his uncle, Mike and John, they're twins, grew up with me. Who would have ever known that John would have a son? And he played music, and he's playing music, and he's playing with me. So that's Carter Yasutake on trumpet. Now, when I get to Mike, I knew Mike's dad, who's Dave Eskenazi, who actually gives all the sports information, history on baseball. You can see him sometime, and they'll show him sometime, giving you the history of baseball. He's also a great artist. So when Mike came to Ballard, and I was teaching at Ballard, one day we got in this conversation, and I looked at him, I said, "Who is your father?" And he said, "Dave Eskenazi." I said, "I know your dad." I said, "It's a small world." And that's how it all clicked. They listen. They're pursuing music as a career. They know it's a business first. One of the things that I tell them, I say, listen, it's just like any other career. The difference is you have to work your butt off if you want to be successful. You may not be rich. That's the gamble. It's like gambling, playing blackjack, because sometimes you do end up doing very well. But if you love the music and you love what you do, you can make a decent living. It's all about what you want out of your career, and then once you can define that, go for it. don't want them to so much remember about me. I want them to remember about generations. Remembering about me, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. Pass on. Pass the baton. And that's all. I have a responsibility, and I'm going to live that responsibility out.